welcome to another video of Vibing with Via. So we're still in this season of Lent and persons have given up all the meat and they really want to eat things that are coming from the sea. And so I thought, what would be a very good way to close off the penultimate section that's dealing with Lent? I figured I'll make a seafood mix. Now, Rainforest has this cute little package of seafood mix and it has a number of ingredients, Taste of the ocean. It has some squid, it has mussels, it has shrimp, and I don't know if there's anything else that's in it. I'm not a big mussels fan, but it makes for good flavor when making anything seafood. Anyway, so the bottom line is that I'm going to be using this seafood mix to make a quick chowder. What are my other ingredients? I'm going to add some celery, fresh parsley. I need some butter, some, what's this called again? Onions, white onions, garlic. I need some cooking cream. I need some all-purpose flour. I need some corn. This is optional, but I'm adding it. I need some fresh thyme, and I also need some Irish potato. And where are my carrots? I need carrots as well, right? So it's a quick and easy dish, and I'm going to take you right through it. Let's go. Normally, if you're doing this, you'd want to include a little bit of stock to your recipe. Of course, I have no stock. And in addition to that, in terms of the seafood that came in this package, there is no shells, right? There are no shells. I said there are no shells on the seafood. Everything has been out of the shell, cleaned up nice. It's just literally ready to cook. So I have to find a workaround. So what I have decided to do is to put in like the mussels and some of the squid, and I'm just gonna allow this to cook. And then the flavor, that whole sea, the whole ocean that's being released from all of this is what I'm going to be using as the stock. So watch me make it up, okay? So I have some thyme here. I'm going to be adding a little bit of lemon juice, and the lemon juice is going to cause the seafood to cook a little bit quickly. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of pepper, because I for one just like my seafood to be spicy. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of pepper flakes to this, and I'm also going to be adding some vegetable broth. That's going to help to kick things up a notch. All right. In addition to that, I'm going to add a little bit of ginger. I'm using powdered ginger here, right? Just for that flavor, because that I don't cook anything without ginger. Okay, I'm adding that to the pot and I'm going to allow this to come to a boil. In the meantime, I am prepping all the other ingredients. This is what the stock actually looks like. You could add a little bit of tomato paste to this if you'd like. And, whatever other thing you think would be good to add flavor to it, you can do that. If you have like island spice seasoning, like they have a seafood seasoning, you could add that. Or if you want to add just a little bit of Cajun seasoning, whatever you choose. But this is what I want. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to be straining this off. Right, so it's the flavor, it's the liquid that I will want in the cooking process before getting to the meat. All right, so I'm gonna strain this. I wouldn't bore you with the process, but if you look, I have all my ingredients prepped. This is the cooked seafood that I used to make the stock. Of course, I have my parsley that's chopped. I have my celery. I have my flour that's on point. I couldn't remember what was the name of this just now. Flour, yeah. I have 2 cloves of garlic. I do have me some fresh carrots. I have some potatoes. I have some onions, and I do have the corn, and of course, boom, the cooking cream. And how can I forget? Key ingredient now, the butter. So it's now gonna be over to the stovetop. I'm excited, guys. Can you tell? I'm super duper excited for making this dish, because I think Jamaicans, I don't know how many Jamaicans really get into chowder. I remember the first time I traveled and I heard about chowder, I was like, chow dog? We don't eat dog in Jamaica. She's like, no, chowder, with her little American accent, of course. And I remember tasting it and I'm thinking, wow, this thing is awesome. But if I were to just go by the looks, I wouldn't have had it, because in Jamaica we don't drink soup that looks white and creamy. Our soup is very pumpkiny or very peasy, you know what I mean? Or we go aphrodisiac, so we would have things like coconut soup and them things. Anyway, let's go. So I have my saucepan on the fire and I'm now gonna add the butter. There's just something about the smell of melted butter that gets me excited. This is the reason so many of us are fat, this butter goodness. When we're ready, it's bacon goodness. By the way, you could actually add bacon to this. I think it would do it some justice. It would be an additional flavor, something very nice and exciting, don't you think? All right, so now that this butter is melted, I'm going to be adding my onions. And the key thing here is that I want these onions to sweat. Okay, so another thing with making chowder is that you really don't want anything to just be sitting there. You don't want your butter to get cold. You just really want to keep the heat going. So I'm sauteing. It's like a lot of butter, but that's all right. Seafood and butter go well together, right? Yes, they actually go well together. So I'm sauteing this onion. Some people say onion. Smells really good. Now I'm gonna go in with the celery. Now celery is just one of those things that I don't really like the taste per se to eat it, like how persons would have it with chicken wings. I don't really like the way it smells either, but quite recently I've been taking celery in my green juice and I can tell you it's working wonders. So sometimes the things that taste awful are the things that are really good for you. Alright, so we're going to keep this moving. That's the key thing to this process. You have to keep it moving. You don't want your butter to burn, okay? So you just gonna saute all of this. Notice too that once the butter is here and it's melting up and we're moving it around, it is having this little goldenish color. That's what we really want, okay? So let's keep moving this around. Saute. Time for carrots. Same treatment. Carrots. We're gonna move you around. The colors look good, right? They look vibrant. You can tell that this is going to be a hearty soup. I'm so excited. I honestly cannot wait to taste this. Alright, same vein. We're going in with our potatoes. I've used a lot of potato because I don't like bare soup. I like to, you know, have soup and it seems to me as though there's something in it, something to eat, you know. So, yeah, and notice I didn't cut the potatoes way too small. They're kind of cube, rough chop basically, but not too big and not too small, okay? Because when it cooks, of course, it's going to get really tender. So I'm just going to saute this all the way through until the potato is tender. Okay, so at this stage of the game, we have our little mix here going for some time, maybe about what, 10 minutes. If you look here, you'll notice that I have one piece of the potato on a fork. I'm gonna test it here. Look, it's breaking apart, which means that this piece of potato is probably cooked, right? And this is why I didn't want to cut it too thinly. Now, you don't want it to cook at this point all the way through, just partially cooked, because we're going to be layering up. Remember that we have the stock to add to this pot and we will have our cream to add later on. So the truth is the potato is going to continue cooking. So again, in doing this, you want to ensure that you're continuously stirring this mixture. You don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pot. You don't want it to burn. So it's so important for you to move this around. Now, I'm going to be adding the corns now. And I suspect persons are thinking, why didn't she just add the corn when she added everything else? Here's why. I'm using fresh corn from a can, okay? And by virtue of the fact that that is what I'm doing, I really never wanted for it to be in the pot here just moving around, because technically you can just eat this as it is. Now, another thing that you could have done with this corn is to use the corn from the cob. You could have roasted it or just, peel it off, which means that it would have been unprocessed. So the cooking time would have taken longer, and that's when you would have added it here at an earlier stage. So that's why, I'm saying a lot of that's why. So that's why I'm actually adding the corn. Now I'm going to saute this for like another 2 to 3 minutes, and then I am ready to move on to the next stage. What's the key thing to making this dish? You have to ensure that you are stirring the pot continuously. So if you really want an arm workout, this is the dish for you. Make a chowder. All right. So next step, I'm going to be making a roux. Okay, so I'm ready now to make this roux. I know some of you are like, okay, so what's roux? Simple. It's just equal part flour and fat. So I've added the flour there, and the idea here, more than ever, is that I have to keep my arm muscles going now more than ever. I have to stir this up to ensure that the flour is going to be cooked, and also that it's not sticking to the pot. Very important. What's the purpose of this? This is going to be acting as the thickening agent. Now, depending on how long you actually keep this going, you can get a different shade of roux, okay? So it can be blonde, it can be white, it can be brown, and I don't know which other color. I think they're both 4 shades. Oh, it could be white as well. All right, so that's the flour. I'm just going to keep doing this for about 3 minutes to ensure that the flour is cooked. I won't bore you with that part of the process though. So this is what it should look like after 3 minutes. Now I'm going to be going in with the stock that I made. Look at that, one piece of muscle got away. And that's okay. I'm going to turn my flame all the way up now, because I want to bring this to a boil. I'm going to boil this for about maybe 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes the most. Again, I don't want the potatoes to become mush, so I'm gonna keep moving this around. But if you notice what's happening even with the liquid, look at what is happening. It's already thickening, okay? And it's thickening because of the flour that we had added earlier. It's thickening because of the roux. So again, you don't want this to burn. I have to keep this moving. All right, see you in 5 minutes. Look at what's happening here in the pot. You can see that the stock has been incorporated with the mix, and it is actually getting thick. Now this is super thick, you know, because the potatoes are in there as well. So now I'm going to move to my next stage, which is the seafood that I'd used earlier to create the stock. I'm putting that in. That is already cooked. As you can see, I have mussels, I have some squid, I think I have rings, and I have squares or cubes, right? So that's going in. But I'm also going to be adding some shrimp. Again, if I had bought these seafood pieces individually, it would have made a difference. You know, we'd have seen a whole lot more in the pot, but we're working with what we have. You know, I'm an advocate for that. So I've added the shrimp to the mix now, and I'm going to keep stirring this. Yes, until it's cooked. This process is not going to take long, because once we can see the shrimp pieces just turning, what's the color again? Pinkish. A little pinkish, orangey color, then we know that it is ready. All right. So I'm going to keep stirring this, and I'm going to check it back in another, let's say, what now? 5 minutes. Oh, before I do that though, remember my garlic? Now is the ideal time to put the chopped garlic in the pot. All right, so it's always about layers of flavor. It smells so divine. You know, my neighbor was passing and knocked me up earlier to ask what is it that I'm making, because I smell my pot all the way outside. That's how you know when you're cooking good food. If your neighbor don't come knock you up, let me tell you something, you're not going with that thing in your kitchen. Okay, so yeah, probably another 5 minutes on this, and then we're on to the next step. So again, you know me and the spice, right? So I'm adding some cayenne pepper to the mix, just for a kick of flavor. Seafood without spice not nice to me, so I have to get that in there. Cayenne pepper looks good, right? I cannot wait to show you the finished product. You know, I'm actually excited about this. How many times in this video have I said I'm excited? Comment down below and tell me how many times I use the word excited in this video. Excited, excitement, exciting, anything to suggest that. You just tell me how many times I've done that. Ah, okay. I was trying to locate a piece of, wait there, gone, piece of shrimp. See there? So you know that that's cooked, right? You don't want to overdo this. Why? If you keep the shrimp boiling and boiling and boiling non-stop, the trouble you're going to run into is that it's going to be rubbery, and we don't want any rubbery seafood around here. Okay, so we just do the right thing, and we know that that's that right now. So here's what I'm going to do. It's seafood. I have some lemon slices. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of lemon juice. Why? You want to cut the rawness as well from it, okay? because seafood has that tendency to smell like the whole of ocean. So I just went in with a little bit of the lemon juice. If you don't want to use the juice, you could have put a little bit of lemon zest in it. That would work also. Again, as you see it bubbling, you just want to do this. Keep it moving, okay? This is an arm workout. Can't say it enough. Just keep it moving. All right, final stages. What are we adding? We are adding the cream. I don't know why I didn't cut this thing big enough, you know. But we're adding the cream to the mix, guys. Oh, there we go. This is therapy. Squeezing cream out of a box. Good therapy. Alright, and all we gotta do, this is the stage that we want to turn or heat all the way down. And we want to incorporate that so that you'll see a full change in the color of the mixture. Who is excited? Because I am excited. Excited much, trust me. If excited was a person, that would be me. But just want to eat this, you know. Can't wait for it to be finished. Never imagine. I'm so proud of myself for really stepping out of you know, perhaps the comfort zone, to try things and also just to do it my way. So this is Via's clam chowder. You have different types of clam chowder. You have New England, you have Canadian, you have, I guess, New Jersey, I don't know. English clam chowder, you have a lot. And as I said, what makes a difference is the ingredients that you're adding to the pot. But for me, I'm just making sure that I'm adding things that's going to give it a kick in terms of the flavor, but also just things that I eat generally. If I don't eat it, it's not going to go in there. Okay? I'm going to cook what I like. But look at the ingredients in there. It looks good, right? I cannot wait. So I have turned the stove all the way down, and I'm going to allow this to simmer for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Final ingredient. Here we go. I just want to show you again the goodness of this chowder. Look at it. This is the last time you're going to see it in this stage. So, fresh parsley. A next layer of flavor. So parsley is good because, of course, it's serving as a garnish. But separate from that, if you smell fresh parsley, it smells as though it is from the mint family. So just imagine what's going on inside of this pot right now, guys. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of excitement. Fresh parsley to the mix. Give this another spin, another stir. And I'm just going to turn it off and allow it just to sit there. Allow the parsley flavor to become infused. And then I'm going to be plating this. So here you have the finished product. It's plated. And guess what I'm serving it with, guys? You'd never believe it. Club Social. Nice little crackers on the side. So that's the reason I didn't add a lot of salt, because the Club Social has a bit of salt on it, right? If you look carefully, you can see those little salt crystals, that's what I want to call it, on it. But ooh, this is Via's clam chowder, Jamaican style. Let me tell you something. This aroma, cheese to die for. YouTube, you need to work with me. You need a smell icon. Me no know. I wish I had the power to figure out how to make that. Maybe that should be my next research, how to come up with that smell icon, because this is absolutely divine. So this is my hearty seafood chowder soup via style, Jamaican style, and this is perfect for the Lenten season. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment. If you have friends and family members who are not over here, who have not subscribed, who have not turned on that post notification bell, you need to tell them that they're missing out, okay? So see you in the next video. Bon appetit!